Hi, everyone. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're so happy that you're taking time to be here with us. My name is Dena Zorzis, and I'm going to be one of your co hosts tonight, along with my dear friend, Ramona Cogman. There she is. So I'm going to dare to date myself and share with you that I have known Ramona 25 years. We met in a small little staffing office in Tampa, Florida, and we were coworkers. And at the time, little did I know that she would become a lifelong friend. Actually attended two of my weddings, so been through a divorce with me. I celebrated her daughter's first birthday, but I want to say, Ramona, I am so blessed that you decided a year ago to join me on this Plexus journey. And you've been one of my biggest cheerleaders and accountability partners. And guys, why do I share that with you? Because it is a proven statistic that when you have an accountability partner, you are 80% more likely to crush your goals. So I'm going to ask you all tonight to write down the name of that friend. Who is the first person that pops in your mind that is a straight shooter, is going to hold your feet to the fire, and is going to get grind out and gritty with you to reach your goals? We're going to come back to that name later in the call, but I want you to just keep it in mind. And I'm just going to discuss a couple housekeeping items with you. We want to be respectful of everybody's time. We don't anticipate this call to take more than 30 minutes, but we do want to be here for you to answer any questions you may have. So we are offering Q&A at the end of the call for anybody that wants to stay on. We can talk through any questions you have one-on-one. Jot them down. Feel free to drop them in the chat as well, but we will come back and spend that one time with you. So to no further ado, we have five amazing guest speakers tonight that I am so lucky to call my friends and my peers. We have three educators, and three nurses in the medical field, and we have two educators. And we're going to start off, and I'm going to introduce Miss Phyllis Anderson, and I'm going to hand this over to you. Thank you, Phyllis, for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Dina, for inviting me and Sadie. This is what's super cool, you guys, is I'm not on anyone's team here, but I'm what you call a sideline sister. And when you have a sideline sister that reaches out to you and says, "Hey, can you hop on this call? We could really use your voice." And I'm like, "Heck yeah, I'm available. I'll be right there." And so I know that you guys would do the same for me. And anyway, so I'm here to share my story. I'm Phyllis Anderson. I was a nurse. I am not anymore. Thank you, Plexus. But 30 plus years in the healthcare world was a long time, 22 in the ER, really long time. And so I found Plexus when I was in a place in my health that I was looking for help with my hot flashes. At 41, I stopped having periods. At 48, I was in full blown post menopause and was gaining weight out of nowhere, running marathons, half marathon miles, cross training at the gym. I couldn't work out anymore. And I did love my wine and my sugar at the time, giving up both of those now. Have sugar occasionally, but not like at every meal because that's what I wanted it. I wanted it every meal. And so Plexus for me gave me a dose of self-control. That's how I like to explain it. Took away those hot flashes, gave me Phyllis back, and I was missing Phyllis. I am very outgoing, like Dina. I can see that in you already. Like I am the energy in the room, and I was not. I was isolating at 4:30 p.m. I was tucking myself in my pajamas and happy behind the television. I was the person like, who can we call? Let's go out. Get me. I know, Sadie, love you. What can we do? Who can we see? Where can we go? And that was not what was happening. And so Plexus entered the scene by, I just say, a divine gift wrapped in a bow, disguised as network marketing. And when the product quickly changed my life, and on day 4, I stopped craving sugar, I was like, I need to check into this stuff. What's in this? So I actually have a YouTube channel. I covered every product that we have to offer. You can look at Phyllis Anderson. You can go find me there. And I dove deep. I went across 3 different reputable websites, found all the ingredients, and talk very openly. I will talk to my Uber driver. I will talk to anybody who tells me they're struggling with anything because while Plexus doesn't cure things, it sure touches on a lot of things, reducing inflammation, balancing blood sugars, which balances hormones, and balancing your gut microbiome, which is really important. So the more I started to dig into that, I'm like, oh, mind blown, mind blown, mind blown. All these things that we're doing in the hospital, it's pharmaceuticals. We save lives. We absolutely have an impact, but we're putting big band-aids on people. We're not getting to the root cause. So then I just stepped up on a soapbox, big platform, and started sharing like crazy. I couldn't stop talking about it. And so quickly within 11 months, less just shy of 11 months, I went Emerald in our company. And while I'm still hanging around Emerald, 7 years later, it's not a bad place to be. I am currently growing my team, and that's where we're heading. Is we're heading to Diamond because that's where I want to go. We get a chance to re-enter the company again, so I can go Diamond twice. My husband is an ambassador under me, so I'm now growing under him. He can enter the company twice. So the compensation plan here, it's a no-brainer. Our company is solid. So I looked at all these things. Like I love just being here for the products. I love looking at lives being changed. That is what I'll stay here for. And then the money doesn't hurt either. I more than doubled my nursing income at the time, and I was able to step aside after 3.5 years of working both side by side. So I didn't come in and think magic was going to happen overnight. I knew it was going to take work. I had good leadership and I just went for it. And I did everything I was told to do. And lo and behold, it worked. It paid off. And being able to pay for my son's college, purchase cars, pay off our travel trailer, travel wherever the heck we want to go. And yeah, Sadie and I met right before the world shut down. And I'm telling you, my team actually grew during that time, during COVID, because then I really felt like, gosh, I can build people's gut health. Like this is where our immune system is housed. People need stronger immune systems right now. You don't want to get any sickness, have a strong immune system. So that's still where I'm at. I still share openly. The products, the finances have blessed my life. Oh, I created Carefolio. It's right here in the background. This is my medical healthcare journal. So when I stepped aside from nursing, my brain was able to open up, receive downloads for what God's purpose really was for me. So now I'm a wellness coach, author of Carefolio. I'm actually author of a best-selling book called Wealthy in Wisdom. And my goodness, and then working my Plexus business. So it's just all like my world just exploded when I said yes to a network marketing company.
Phyllis, thank you so much for sharing. That is like mind blowing. First off, 11 months to go Emerald. That's amazing. But just your knowledge, I can't even imagine how many people you've been able to help because of your background in nursing. And then, relating to all of their issues, health related issues. Just what a blessing. And like you, I also started off as a product user on and off for about 5 or 6 years until I was so skeptical about sharing, until I decided to listen to Sadie and reluctantly share after I had a liver transplant. And once I did, like it's the best decision I've made. So thank you so much. I'm going to go and I'm going to watch your YouTube channel. I am thrilled to go and do that. So next up, we have Amanda Lyman, and I am going to let her get started.
Amanda, baby, we can't hear you.
Sorry. Okay, let's try this again. Round two here. Okay. Hi. Like Dina said, I'm Amanda and I'm a peds nurse for a bazillion years. And so I'm just excited to be sharing my journey with you guys tonight. Not just really about Plexus solely, but why it's been just a huge part of our family's life, both personally and professionally. So as a nurse, we've always believed in the power of prevention, right? We encourage PAPs, preventative self-exams, and even like promoting the newest technology image as prevention. And I've seen firsthand how our healthcare system is built around managing illnesses rather than building wellness. And to be honest, I've never liked taking medications unless it's been absolutely necessary. I'm the person that will like sit there with a headache forever. Some of that may be due to my inability to learn how to take pills until adulthood, but that's for another time. My family can attest to that. So I've always been someone who just really wants to get to the root cause, just like Phyllis said, not just slap a band-aid on the symptoms. This probably started in nursing school when I took my grandma. She was 90 years old. We took her to the doctor, or I took her to the doctor. And as she was kind of going over her symptoms with the doctor, he just quickly suggested yet another medication. And I was like, you guys, she was already on that medication. Here we were just trying to load up the band-aids instead of really figuring out the root cause and what was really going on with my sweet grandma. So that mindset is actually what led me to try Plexus in the first place for the second time. Yes, I was the person who wasn't super consistent the first time, but really that's okay because God knew my second chance was coming and his timing is perfect and he knew who I was meant to be with. And at that time, after my fourth son, I was really struggling. I had constant bloating, some major discomfort in the bathroom. And if you know, you know. And I just didn't have the energy that I needed to show up for my family or my friends or my work or even myself. So I felt like I was just pushing through everyday survival mode. And I'm pretty sure like the mom zombie, all of those shirts, are out there for a reason. So let's be honest, we're all busy. And I knew something had to change. And I was willing to try something different that kind of aligned with my values more so. So when I started learning about gut health, inflammation, blood sugar balance, all of those things that Plexus does naturally, it kind of caught my attention. And you guys, it didn't take very long for me to start seeing a difference. I was more regular, thank goodness, less bloated, thank goodness. And slowly but surely, my energy was coming back. And I kind of just had a clearer head. And I felt more just like me. And that's so important. It's not fun to not feel like yourself. And that's when I realized that this wasn't just like a health hack. It was something foundational. But even with how amazing I felt, I didn't jump into sharing right away for Plexus. I took these products for 7+ years, maybe. And I will say that a huge eye-opening moment was a side-by-side picture of myself, just a few pounds difference in the photos. One with I had been on Plexus for a while, the other one not. And my face on the photo that I had been on Plexus for a while, despite actually weighing more, my face was remarkably thinner. And I had less inflammation and I also had eyes. It's crazy how that happens. So fast forward a few years, I wrestled with that decision to share for really about almost a year. I never told Sadie or anyone. I just kind of thought about it and then didn't. It felt big and vulnerable. And to be honest, I was with another networking brand for those 7+ years prior to that I had been successful with. I had friends there and I was really invested in the company as well as their values. And I didn't want to make a change because I was, again, comfortable. And sometimes that's the hardest part, right? And plus, I was kind of worried about what others would think. Was I just going to be switching from company to company and all the things? But there's always a but. God kept pressing on my heart. I'm going to get emotional. Because how could I, as a nurse, as someone who deeply believes in helping people, keep something to myself that I knew I could share with others and make a real difference? And truthfully, I don't think I would have stepped out of my comfort zone with this if it weren't for people like Sadie. For years, she breathed encouragement and empowerment into me. Yes, even when I was with my other company, she not only financially found a few things that she loved in my company, but also me as a person, as a leader, as an entrepreneur. She saw value in me. She saw something in me that I didn't fully see in myself, and honestly, still probably don't as much as she does. And when I finally said yes to sharing, it felt just like a natural extension of what I was already doing, helping others take better care of themselves. I mean, when you have the answer, when you know something that could help with other people's symptoms or even improve their quality of life, who are we not to share? So now I share because I believe. I believe in these products. I believe in what they've done for me and others, in my family, my friends, my clients, everyone. I believe there's a better way to feel in your own body and a better way to live. And I want everyone to know it's possible. And you guys, I'm not the anomaly. We have so many nurses, nurse practitioners, pharmacists, and even doctors sharing this gift. So whether you're just here to learn, you're curious about trying the products, or you've been sitting on the fence of sharing them yourself, just know that your story, your wellness, and your impact, they matter. You matter. People are waiting for you to show up and lead the way. Not me, not Sadie, not anybody else on our team. They're waiting for you. You don't have to be perfect or have all the answers. And I'm pretty sure that anybody that's professional or, more involved in their trade, they didn't start out knowing everything. Zero people start out knowing everything. You just have to care. And I know that you guys do because you wouldn't have chosen the professions that you've chosen. So if you're thinking about trying the products, just try them. And if you're thinking about sharing them, how about take the lead? I'm here to cheer you on every step of the way. I will be your Sadie, but better yet, I know. Remember, this isn't my first rodeo. I know that you would be on the very best support team that is out there. You are in this room because you were meant to be.
Girlfriend. Holy cow. Like all the feels, I was like biting my lip. So the tear, like it's just, you speak with such honesty and authentic passion. And I thank you for just being raw and real tonight because I couldn't agree more. It's such a blessing to be able to help people. And this is the platform that we can share and also help ourselves. Like we're helping people while we're literally helping ourselves. And that is just such a blessing. And it's another reason why I love being part of Plexus, because I mean, we put God first. We talk about our faith and we know it's a calling. And I'm just so blessed to be here with you. And thank you for sharing. So next up, Nikki, you're up to bat, girlfriend.
Amanda, you can't do that to me. Gosh. All right. I've been pinching myself under the table, so I'm not crying anymore. All right. What's up, guys? I'm Nikki. I'm with, Miss Sadie Hershaway here. I've been a nurse since 2017. I started in primary care. Ignore these noises. I don't know how to turn them off. It's fine. But 2017 in primary care. I was a pretty intense alcoholic at the time, and I didn't really have any interest or care really what the doctor was prescribing, what they were doing. Like, I guess I just felt like I didn't need to care then. And then let's shoot to July of 2022, and I got sober, which P.S. my 3 years is on Tuesday. We'll talk about that later. But I got sober in July of 22. And at that point, I was not, actually I was. I left primary care and went to endocrinology, okay? And endocrinology, if nobody knows, it's all about hormones, diabetes, insulin resistance, PCOS, all the things, right? So I really got into learning about all of this and how miserable every single patient was that came in. Everyone was nauseous. Nobody could lose weight. They were losing their hair. All the things and the 5-minute visits that went on, all they did was change the medication and see you next time. We weren't talking diets. We weren't talking how many times a day do you poop? We weren't talking how many times do you exercise? How many steps do you get in? There was no healing going on. And I think because I was sober and because I had started Plexus, I started paying attention. And I started going, this isn't right. I agree with Amanda. This isn't right. This is not what I signed up for. these 5-minute conversations and nothing being done. Okay. So I got to take a drink. So then the Ozempic crisis hit, and it was like Black Friday every day. How many can we get out? How many can we prescribe? How many can we get on this? And again, there was no conversations about how many times a day do you poop? Do you have thyroid issues in your family history? And they were lasting 5 minutes. And on my end, I got to hear the patients' stories, and they were very disturbing. They're not eating. They're miserable. Severe GI issues. We all know about the gastroparesis and all this stuff. And I'm going, okay, I am not doing my due diligence if I don't tell them about plexus. Like everything they were saying was just screaming plexus. Like, I'm not here to stop you from these meds. That's your life, but I can at least help you poop. I can at least help you not, have pain and feel like you can't leave the damn bathroom. I mean, like, okay, I got to start talking about this. Okay. I didn't know what I could do at my job. I didn't know what boundary I could overstep by talking about these privately to my patients. So I left. I left my job. I love my job. I could have probably gotten a lot more people on my team if I stayed a little bit longer and didn't care. It was private. I was in that room. I could have talked to them, and I could have shared more. But back to what it was is I started researching plexus, and I just started realizing I got to get out of here. I got to be able to share about this my way. I got to be able to talk about what I want to talk about and help people my way and heal and feel the impacts on the daily basis and get dirty and real about conversations. And then now I'm stepping into being able to help people with sobriety and how amazing our products are with sobriety and sugar addiction and cravings even and sleep. And oh my gosh, it's endless. P.S. When you stop drinking, not everything goes great. Your skin doesn't get beautiful. You don't sleep like the dead. It's all over the place. But the best thing I did was take plexus and start talking about it. Why did I start talking about it? I couldn't afford this product if I didn't start sharing it. Plain and simple. I started for the money and I started for the product. I stay because of this woman right here to my left, Sadie Hershaway. And I stay to this because of this other woman right here to my right, Amanda Lund. And you're going to make me cry now because Sadie I have found my faith because of her and because of this company. And I stay because of that. I stay because of these women. I stay because of the people that tell me how good they feel. I stay because I don't have a boss to answer to. And I stay because I get to do what I want my way. And I just do better with no boss. I've learned that. So I just agree with everything Amanda said. The bonuses, the trips, I got to take my husband on vacation. I am more than grateful for this entire company, but Sadie knows how I feel about her. So thank you before I'm like snotting. But yeah, and thank you, Dena, for inviting me. Ramona, I don't know you yet. I hope I get to meet you soon. But yeah, do it. And if you hate your crappy job and you want to do it your way, find a way out. Make it happen. That's all I got. Love you.
Thanks, Nikki. And congratulations on 3 years, girl. We are all here cheering you on along the sidelines. Like you, I didn't leave my job per se, but I decided not to return to a corporate job. And I think that I wouldn't have done that if I didn't have this opportunity with Plexus, because one, I was used to being a leader and I was used to encouraging people to win. But now I get to do it where it really impacts their life. So thank you so much for sharing. And we are going to transition. We heard all kinds of stories about gut health. And we happen to say and refer to something as our 3 pillars. And we refer to them as a big deal. A big deal because the big deal is blood sugar regulation, inflammation, and gut health. And you've heard all three of these items as a reoccurring theme from all of our nurses. So as you talk and learn more about Plexus, and we're not here to talk about all the products tonight, but as you learn more and you get more curious, if you are struggling with blood sugar regulation, inflammation, and gut health, these products will work wonders for you. Okay, we are going to jump to our educators, and I happened to just recently meet Lindsay, and she so graciously accepted. But we were at convention, and we just clicked. She was an inspiration, and I asked her to join us tonight. So next up is Lindsay Pulverenti. Thank you, and take it away.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm also a sideline sister, and so I just really appreciate this opportunity. I always love meeting new teams. You guys have an amazing bond, and so I just am excited to be here tonight. So I finished up my 20th year in education, and so that has been my passion is teaching. I'm a high school business teacher in the Kansas City area, which isn't always an easy gig, but I love what I do. I had a sorority sister who kept sharing with me Plexus, and I kept trying to be polite, but thinking like, well, I'm not like sick. There's nothing wrong with me, right? Like, I don't need to go to the doctor. I thought I was fine, but we don't know what we don't know, right? So I was what you would call a silent sufferer. I had horrible acid reflux. I was tired all the time. I was snapping at my kids, both at home and at school. I just was super irritable, had stomach issues, but I just thought that was how we are as moms, right? Like those mom symptoms. And so finally, she kept pushing me, and I was like, okay, girl, I'll just give it a shot. So in January of 2020, my first welcome pack back in the day, right, was Slim, X Factor Plus, and Vital Biome. I had my second daughter in September, so I thought, okay, we'll just start off with those products. And then we all know what happened in March of 2020. I left my beloved classroom and went home, and I was trying to teach online, which was something none of us had ever done, with a 6-month-old and a second grader trying to also teach or try to learn from home. I mean, it was like, as we all know, crazy, right? But I had been on Vital Biome for 3 months at that time. And for whatever reason, even though everything was crazy, I felt so calm and collected in the midst of everything going haywire. And I didn't really think anything of it. I didn't know what had changed until my husband pointed out, like, something's going on, something's different. And then, as Amanda had mentioned as well, like the puffy face thing, right? Like those side by side comparisons. Guys, I have to tell you, make sure you're taking like the before picture and put it with your current picture and see the inflammation. My weight fluctuates all the time, but I have eyes, like Amanda mentioned as well, that I didn't have before. And just having that again, that vital biome, I can't like speak to it enough of being happy. Like I was always like the fun, happy teacher. But it was like fake it till you make it, right? Like you're just battling through until like you really start feeling good. Like we don't know how good we can feel until we start feeling really good. And so I taught from home. I teach at Raytown High School up near the stadiums. And we went from March 2020 to March 2021 virtual. So March 2021, I finally got back into the classroom. Since then, I have been a completely different teacher. My classroom is just so much more light. Again, I feel good. I'm not faking it till I make it anymore because I actually am truly happy. My students see it, my family sees it, and it's all about gut health. My dad unfortunately passed away about 4 years ago, and he had all the things that I truly feel like if we had the conversation with his doctors about gut health, my dad would still be here. And so I'm very adamant about making sure people know that if you have autoimmune disorders, if you've got, diabetes and all the things, like so much of it can be solved with gut health versus taking another steroid or adding more insulin. And so that to me, I'm in that preventative, right? Like I'm plagued with a really bad family health history. And so I'm in that preventative mode of making sure I choose prevention over prescription and wellness over illness. In regards to sharing, I also had been with some previous direct sales companies, and I was very leery with making that first like pink drink post because I didn't want people to be like, oh, here she goes again, selling me something else. But when people started asking me, like, girl, what are you doing? Like, something has changed, then I figured I could not just keep it a secret anymore. People needed to feel that as well. And so I started sharing and had, a lot of people, jump on with me. The road hasn't always been easy building a network marketing business, but in Plexus, you are surrounded, whether it is within your direct team or if it's sideline. Like this company is so amazing about one Plexus. Like we really are. It's a huge company, but we are all in it together. From our CEOs and founders, down to brand new ambassadors. Like we are all in this together to make changes in people's lives. And that's something that you don't get with a lot of companies because I've experienced a couple others before. And then the other thing I would say, if we have any teachers on here, or if there are any teachers who are listening to the replay, like I chose to do this as extra income. Like I have no aspirations of leaving education, though maybe you are one of them who does want to try to, be home and stay at home with your family. I want to continue teaching. I want to retire after 30 years of being an educator. Like that's my goal. But I love that I get to bring in extra income. We get to do the fun things as a family. Today I had a repairman for our deep freeze. I had a plumber fixing the bathroom faucet, and I didn't have to blink because I knew I actually got a text message today that my commission had posted, right? And so I didn't have to worry about where are we going to come up with those extra funds. As an educator, it doesn't matter how well my students score on their tests. I'm not going to earn incentive trips, or I don't get the opportunity to earn a bonus. And so those are the fun things that I fill or that fill my bucket that I get a chance to do with this, as well as my passion of teaching. So.
Lindsay, thank you so much because that's so true. Like a lot of people don't realize this can be your side hustle, girl. You don't have
Yeah,
to suffer out.
absolutely. I mean, you get to make it whatever you want it to be. I mean, it's so easy. It's just easy to share and yeah.
Well, we appreciate you sharing your story tonight. So thank you. Guys, I know we're running a little over, but these are incredible stories. So I just want to say thank you for everybody to stick with us. We have one more speaker. Last but not least, I want to introduce Rachel Walk.
Hello, everyone. So Rachel Locke here. I am in from Fulton, Missouri. I have been in education now going into my 16th year of teaching. I am a mom of two boys, 12 and 8. I have a husband who's also in education as an activities director. And so we are constantly on the go. I mean, something every single night. And for me, I started Plexus back in 2021. At that time, we were living in Boonville, Missouri. We had just sold our house, moved into a rental. We were going to build. So, like the stress of that. Then my husband decided to do a career change, leave, like being a building principal to go into activities. And so that I knew a move was coming up. And I was just having a hard time managing stress. I was also having terrible afternoon crashes. At that time I was teaching elementary. Now I teach middle school STEM. But I was having horrible afternoon crashes. of an evening. I was just struggling getting through having the patients for my own children. By the time I got home, I knew I needed to do something different. I knew something needed to change. And I had a great friend, Katie Rodriguez, who kept posting about plexus and, all of these symptoms of, what you might have if you have candida overgrowth. And I was just really paying attention to her posts every time they came up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I went through and I counted, and there was a list of 38 symptoms that you could have with candida overgrowth. And I went through and I counted 25. I had 25 of the 38 symptoms. Um, and going back to like just talking about like just all the changes that were going on, moving, selling our house and moving because I thought we were going to build. And then now we're no longer building. We're going to move to a new community. Um, I was to the point where I was like, okay, I think I need to go on medication. Like, I think I need to go on some meds to help me deal with just everything that was going on. I was feeling like, a little depression and anxiety, and things like that. And I knew that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go on medication. And so I started researching what can I do instead? And then again, like Katie's posts on, plexus and, how, it can help with that too, like those feelings. I finally just reached out to her and I was like, hey, I would like some more information on the information that you are posting on. So I started the triplex. I've been doing that now for almost 3.5 years, going on 4, and I've gone off of it. And then, some of those symptoms start, sneaking back. And I was like, what's the difference? Like, what is changing? Why do I feel this way? And I was like, I'm not taking my Plexus products, or I'm not being consistent and, doing the combination of them. And so there really is a true science when we go and we try to share combos. Those combos are put together for a reason. And so then going into 2 years later, my friend Lori comes along, who is tied in with Katie, and I know them from when I taught at Eldon. And Lori is just like, have you thought about sharing? And I'm like, no, I am not sharing. No, I love the products. I have no desire to share. And she's like, well, I just don't think you should be paying for your products. I think, you should be sharing and find a way to get these products paid for, relieve some additional financial stress. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll try this. I don't know. She was just very persistent. And I'm like, fine, I'll do it. Maybe you'll start leaving me alone about this. and and I shared and I kept sharing, and it was kind of fun. And then I started getting people asking me about it, and I was like, yes. And then I started, having people come to me and being like, hey, I want to know more about Plexus. And I just became, I'm trying, like, passionate. Like, I just started finding this new passion and helping people. I've always had a passion for helping people through teaching, and that's why I went into education. And I love working with kids. But now I have this new passion of teaching to educate people about their health and how, we don't need to rely on medications. We can find natural ways to heal our gut, and how the gut is just so related to so many health conditions. And if we get our gut healed first, then other things start healing. And so that is really why I keep sharing. I keep sharing because I love to just educate people on ways that they can feel better. And I'm just now to the point where I'm starting to build my own team. So for those of you who maybe want to get into this for the extra income, for me, I just started sharing to cover the cost of my products. And now that I'm covering the cost of my products, I'm starting to want more. I'm wanting to start building a team so then I can start earning extra to support my kids and all their activities that they're in, because they're not getting cheaper. And we know as educators, we don't get those bonuses and things like that. And so it's like, well, This is something I can do. This is something I can, work on my own time. Like you can easily manage having a full-time job and doing this for supplemental income, not having to go and work specific hours, after your first full-time job. You can fit this in where it works for you. And for me, it's while I'm sitting in those pickup lines. That's when I work my business hard, is while I'm sitting and waiting, in between baseball games. Um, just anytime I find myself sitting and waiting, I take advantage of that time and I reach out to people or I start conversations with people. And it's just been amazing that when you start those conversations, how much people really want to know, but maybe they're just too afraid to ask. And so that is something I have learned, is not to be afraid to share. And I would tell anyone to be open with sharing. Don't That's been a big thing for me. I've had to get over that fear of, oh my gosh, what is somebody going to think? And I still struggle with that. But I have definitely grown a lot as an adult, sharing Plexus, and it's helped me build more confidence in myself too. So thank you for having me on.
Rachel, thank you so much for touching on that piece about being afraid to share, because it kind of, I was like that too. So thank you for mentioning that, and just the fact that you found a passion and you can do it from the line while you're waiting on your kids. Or
Yes.
it's easy. You don't have to go to the second job and be on a clock or what have you. So thank you so much
Yes.
for sharing that aspect of Plexus. So thank you. Thank you to all the speakers. And before we go, I do have to say, we have a special offer. If you're not already part of Plexus, I just want to let the folks know that if you're not part of Plexus, we do have a special offer, $20 off if you sign up in the next 2 days for a VIP subscription. But what's even better than that, if you have that accountability partner that Dena was talking about, how her and I kind of started together, and you're 80% more likely to be successful, that accountability partner also gets $20 off the VIP subscription. And let me just tell you real quick what the VIP subscription life is like. First off, we get 25% off all the Plexus products. Okay. We get a community of folks that are here to support you in your health and wellness journey. As you can see, we have 5 speakers today. We have a couple of other folks on the phone that's a part of this Plexus community. And it's just, it's great to be a part of this community. Another thing you get your own referral link so you can share with others and spread the love. So if they use your link, you get product credits. How about that? And finally, you also get a chance to be a brand ambassador like myself and Dena and earn monthly income. So I mean, it's a no-brainer to me. I just want you guys to think about it. Really, I don't want you to think about it. I want you to say yes to yourself. That's what I want you to do. I want you to say yes to feeling better. I want you to say yes to just just putting yourself first. Starting a new chapter. I'll be 50 next year, and I'm starting a new chapter right now. But Plexus has helped me out over this last year, where I was discomfort as far as couldn't poop. I'll just say that right now. But I am feeling amazing now on these products. So, and I also had the poofy face. So if you see me on Facebook, my face was, woo! I did not realize how much inflammation I had in my body. So I just want to thank everybody that joined the call today. The person that invited you, if you're not a Plexus member, if you're interested, the person that invited you on this call, please get with them. Grab your buddy or your accountability partner and grab these discounts before they're gone. And thank you guys so much for joining the call. All right. I will say this. We're over time, but if you want to stick around for Q&A, you're more than welcome to. Dena and I and Sadie will be here if you have any questions that we can answer for you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I am just so honored that everybody stayed on, even though we went over. Like, I don't think we had anybody dropped. So thank you so much. I wasn't able to follow along with questions in the chat, but I want to open it up because we want to answer one-on-one, like any questions you may have specifically about you,
Dena,
how some of your symptoms.
Dena,
Oh,
you're good. I'm gonna change it to gallery. I'm gonna stop recording.
oh, sorry. Thought you did.
No. Maybe.